Again, this is Krishna Gadipe. I am from the Women Who Code Hyderabad chapter. I am basically associated with this chapter as the lead volunteer. Along with me, we have Rupanjali Mishra also. Definitely, like I will allow her to give her introduction. Prior to that, let's go ahead and try to understand about Women Who Code and especially Women Who Code Hyderabad. The mission of Women Who Code is to empower diverse women to excel in technology careers. And the vision is we envision a world where women are professionally represented as technical leaders, executives, founders, VCs, board members, and software engineers. So ours is a global community that is spread across all over the globe in more than 147 plus countries. And our current member base is 360,000 plus, and it is still growing with the support of all the volunteers and the technologies who are very much passionate with respect to empowering the women in tech sector. So we do have a code of conduct. This is a platform like it's a not-for-profit organization where we anticipate or we expect all the members to adhere to this code of conduct. We don't discriminate or we don't try to do some kind of segregation with respect to any of the aspects that we can think of, whether it could be the socio-economic factors or it could be something related to the region, etc. So all different kinds of discrimination that we may think of, they are not allowed here. We provide or we try to provide equal opportunity to each one of the member of this particular community. So we request all the participants to ensure that they adhere to this code of conduct, and the full version of the code of conduct can be found on the below link. So this is the meetup page. As I said, like Women Who Code is a global organization. It has got its presence in all over more than 147 countries. This is just known as the meetup page of Hyderabad chapter from which we are operating. So any new members, they can simply go ahead and try to sign up here, join this group, and definitely they can contribute. Either they can participate in the events organized by this particular chapter, and at the same time, in case, for example, if they are passionate and they would like to contribute to this community, they are most welcome. They can reach out to us, and we'll be more than happy to host them from this particular chapter. And quickly looking on to what is that this chapter has achieved or what exactly has been done since last couple of years. We started off in 2021 April, and our current member base is more than 3,100 plus. We hosted more than 200 plus events so far. And when it comes to the directorship, currently we have Saraswati Narayanan, who is the senior director, who is overseeing the various chapters that are operating from India, apart from the Hyderabad chapter. And I just introduced myself. I am associated with this chapter since 2021 as a lead volunteer. And along with me, as I said, Rupanjali Mishra is one of our lead volunteers who is actively contributing to this community. So this is our core team. Along with Saraswati, myself, and Rupanjali, we have Chevi Taneja, who is the current director of our Women Who Code Hyderabad chapter, and as well as Babita Kashyap. She is also one of the director for our Hyderabad chapter. And the rest of the members are actively contributing on these particular events that are being organized from this chapter. And quickly moving on, certain links which you can definitely use to connect with us. We already shared the meetup link, wherein any new member or anyone who is interested in contributing to the community, they can simply go ahead and try to sign up. And then, as I said, like if someone is passionate enough and they would like to contribute to this community by hosting the events or in whatever capacity that they would like to, they can simply submit this form, and we will be reaching out to them and try to accommodate with respect to whatever the time that they can support us, and as well as what are the different things that they can plan and implement from this particular chapter. So here we have our Twitter collaboration, Slack channel, and YouTube. And with that, today's session, before we get started, I just wanted to set some kind of context. We have been doing this career returnship program titled as RISE. It stands for Reboost, Invest, Scale, and Empower. It's almost the sixth cycle which we are completing now. We started off in 2021 and successfully trained more than 120 women, out of which somewhere around 25 plus have been placed into jobs, various tech roles in various companies. And the last batch or the current batch that we are right now active is Rise November 2023. This time we tried it a bit different. Instead of like the regular technical training and then followed by the hands-on and then the interview and then the communication skills. What we try to do here is like we wanted to do a tech mentoring model. So basically, like we rolled out this program in November, and then we had some kind of year-end vacation, and finally in the month of January, mid of January, we picked up and we were able to provide some kind of tangible mentoring since last couple of months. And finally, like we are in the closure phase where we are hosting this communication skills session today, followed by the interview preparation skills session tomorrow. And I have an announcement. On April 5th, we are planning to have this retrospective and felicitation connect. With that, we would like to bring to a logical conclusion for this particular program. So today's session is going to be on the communication skills, and it will be taken care by Rupanjali Mishra, who is my colleague. Uh, Over to you, Rupanjali. Can you please introduce yourself, Rupanjali?
Sure, Hari. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. So, myself, Rupanjali Mishra. I have around 15 plus years of experience in IT world, and currently I work for data privacy zone, which is a very, very crucial zone in the current world, owing to different kind of data privacy happening here and there. So, I work for this field. Apart from my technical side, I also am very passionate about helping or working or volunteering any kind of sessions. you know there are certain kind of sessions happening within our company also, so I take part in those apart from Women Who Code. And here I have joined since 2021, same as Hari's joined. So both of us have joined at the same time during the Women Who Code when it was just starting up. And since then we have been part of this, and this is because of our total interest and passion towards this volunteering activity. We are into this zone since 2021. So with that, I think I'll stop on my introduction piece, and we will move on to the main part of our discussion today. So today we are on this communication and life skill, right? So this program, so every program which has been done in Women Who Code, they always have certain phases. The first phase when which we start the technical piece, which is kind of the main course of, the main course, I would say, of a platter, followed by some desert round, which will be like the communications and life skill rounds, and then some interview preparation skills. So these two are the desert piece, I would say, because like desert holds a very important place in our platter. Similarly, this two also holds a very important place. Even though we feel like we all know communication, I can communicate very well. What's there in a communication skills, life skills? So I'm dealing day to day. Like what's the session? What's the need of a session of around such sessions? Why we need a such session? But I would say this is the most important session. Everything begins with this and ends with this. So you are very good in technical, you know how to deal the situation, but until and unless you are able to communicate the things, everything goes for a toss. And that is why important piece of our life is called communication. So that's why we also wanted to introduce this session to all of you. I know everybody would be super fine in their communication skills. We just kind of not want to, say that you have to do this way or that way. It just kind of revising all those points which you already know and you already might be implementing in your day to day life. Not might be, you are implementing in your day to day life. We are just kind of revisiting, brushing up all those skills so that when it comes to the actual war field, when you are actually dealing with communicating with your interviewer or with a panel, so you can just have it freshen up in your mind and you can use them right away. So that's why the session communication and life skill. With that, we'll move to the next slide, Hari. All right. So communication and life skills. So in this we have tried to inculcate many things. We won't be going deep dive into all these sessions or all these pointers which we have kept in. It will be kind of a discussion sessions within us. I'm not going to speak each and everything, so I would request all of you to give me some pointers on the topics which I mentioned here. So we have tried to pick up some important aspects of this, which is like a presentation skill, time management skill, communication skill, conflict management, and social intelligence. So these are the topics which we are going to touch base today, and we will be, moving forward with the help of you by getting your inputs on each and every pointers which is mentioned here. Um, all right, hope we are all good. Okay, so we have some interview skills also, which we will be trying to touch in this sessions. Interview skills, which also include communication, resume writing, teamwork, and professional email writing. So these are the topics which we'll be touching today with the help of you. And I would want all of you to give me a thumbs up or at least unmute yourself and say that we are all set with the base, and we'll start with the topic discussion. All right. Uh, so no, I mean, it's better to talk and better to share your views and thoughts around each and every points. And I know everybody must have went through all these pointers when you have been actually going for an interview round. So this is the pre-interview preparation. So many pointers are mentioned here, right? Technical skills, research, resume access, anticipate, and dress. Anything which comes apart from this as a pre-interview preparation skills? Can anybody tell me anything apart from these pointers which we have tried to put here? All right.
Being
So,
being pleasant.
right. Understanding the position which you are trying to apply for. That is also a pre-interview preparation. Understanding the company details, not in like the details, but then a little here and there information about the company to which you are going to apply. Most important thing, understanding the route of to reach your destination, so that you can plan your travel, how much time before you should go and reach, considering the traffic situation or considering some other ad hoc situation, right? Plan to be there 20 minutes early, 20 minutes before. So that's how, I mean, if you know the destination, if you know the traffic conditions, and you can be prepared, right? So how much early you should start from home. So knowing the route, basically, I would say knowing the route or the destination place to where you have to reach. That is also one important thing. Anything apart from this? So do you think anticipating is important, and how it is important in an interview preparation, pre-interview preparation? What all things you can put in that bucket of anticipate?
Yeah, we anticipate an interactive session. So if you have inputs or if you have questions, please feel free to unmute yourself and just shoot it out. Reha,
Thank you.
Renita.
All right. So anticipate is like kind of, uh, pre-thinking like what can happen over there, what all questions they're going to ask me, how should be I reaching over there, what all questions they might popped after seeing my resume. So you have to just pre-assume everything and get it in a recorded version within your mind, so that you, if something different comes up, you should not be like worried like, oh, I didn't prepare for that. So you should always anticipate all the kind of probabilities for your interview and be prepared for that. So I think these all are very important and simple ones also. We already, on a day-to-day basis, we came across all these things, and we also do that. Brushing up your skills is like which we just did before. Like we had a mentoring session wherein we are helping you to brush up your technical skills. Also, researching is like which kind of position you are applying, what is the company. So you have to research a little bit on that. Resume preparation is on the line of the job which you're applying. You should also update your resume. It should not be like older ones. So if you have done something very recently which actually helped for this current position which you're applying, you should always update that in your resume. Dress is like dress as per the occasion, so it is not a party function or some function you're going to attend, so it should be a very formal attire, clean, neat and tightly, clean shave, tuck in shirts and hair comb, all things should be taken care in proper. So that is the dressing factor which comes into picture. Properly iron dresses before going for an interview. Keep all things ready before putting up your dresses and starting it for the actual interview. Anticipate all different kind of scenarios which they can ask you, and always assess the situation. Like if what if the conditions are not different? What if you're going for a virtual interview and the internet might be not internet might be fluctuating, or you might be having some guest at home. So always assess the conditions and plan for have a plan A and a plan B kind of thing, so that you don't get stuck, or you don't feel confused when something doesn't work the way. So always have two plans, or in fact three plans ready for yourself. If one is not working, you can jump to the other one. So these are some of the pre-interview preparations. We'll move to the next slide, Hari. Mode of interview. So with COVID into picture, we have different modes of interview. Earlier it was only face to face interview. In face to face interview, we know what all things they consider for yourself, right? Your position, your body language, your eye contact, your attire, how firmly you do your handshake, how you're neatly groomed, how is your posture? Are you confident? Are you not confident? Are you little bit feeling low? All these things can be very well assessed in a face to face interview. Also, in a virtual interview with a video on mode, we can partially understand the position, the posture, of the particular person to whom we are trying to interact. But when it is totally virtual over a phone or over a Skype, wherein we don't have a video on mode, there only our voice is the medium of showing that we are listening to you. I am totally with you, and I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say, and I'm confident. Only it is the voice which can help you to understand the other person, that you know you are in that country, in that flow, you are in the current position, you are in the current moment. Only our voice can tell that. Apart from that, face interview, virtual interview, we also have other kind of scenarios like internet connectivity. When we are going for a virtual interview, make sure all these things are in place, and most importantly, internet as well as the background noise and the camera position. It should not be that the camera is facing the fan and your face is not properly visible in the camera. So these are the different modes of interviews, and how we can do an environmental check or be ready for different kind of interviews. I hope everybody is aware of all these things which we are touching upon. So as I said, it is a kind of refresher session. We are not going for a deep dive, and interaction would be very good. Only me talking and you listening. I mean, you doesn't take. There is no output going on, right? So it should be kind of a to and fro motion between both of us. Okay, so we'll move to the next one. Okay. So one important aspect of interview is understanding your personality. So nobody can I mean, I can't understand your personality in one shot, but at least a little bit, like 50 to 60% I can understand about you, the way you speak, the way you interact, by your posture, your hand movements, your eye contact. I can understand your personality a little bit. So how should be a personality of a person? It can be, I mean, it is not necessary that the interviewer should have a good personality. So it is a both way communication, as I said. So both of them should always exhibit a kind of personality which is positive, welcoming, warmth, and not very much diplomatic kind of thing, not shying away, and always open for accepting anything. Like if I'm saying something and the other person has a different thought process or a point of view about my particular point, so I should be open in accepting that. So all this kind of personality can very well be assessed in an interview by the feedback they give us. So sometimes our answers are not very much impeccable, or accepted by the interviewer, and they come up with their own point of view. So at that point of time, how we interact, so that shows our personality. So if you are say like, when you are saying something, can you just elaborate that particular point? I'm very curious to understand what is that aspect of you're trying to explain to me. So that gives us a curiosity kind of personality of ourselves. So that is an curiosity, openness, positiveness, that we are able, we are okay to, or we are absolutely fine in absorbing what you're trying to say. So these are some of the personality trait which I mentioned here, like assertiveness, openness, creativity, all these things, like optimism, curiosity, loyalty, and self-confidence. Self-confidence is like, I mean, nobody can tell you how to put a self-confidence or how to, but it's always you can groom yourself, the way you carry yourself, the way you communicate, the way you interact or shake hand, all these things shows how confident you are to the situation. So these are some of the personality traits. So maybe I'll take a pause until now. So we have covered 3 slides: type of interviews, modes of interviews, and personality. Okay, please elaborate, how can we display loyalty? Okay, so you're for an interview, and the interviewer is asking you, like, what was the reason of leaving the earlier company? All right. So this is a tricky one, right? So you might end up saying something negative because you're leaving that company, and positive for the company which you're trying to join. That should not be the case. You should always showcase something which says that you are happy with that company, but a kind of growth, the kind of work I was not able to get there. So I was looking for something more challenging for myself. So in that way, you are loyal to your previous company. At the same time, you wanted to explore new kind of opportunity, and that's why I'm here for the interview. That's the kind of loyalty you have to show. Loyalty is not like, always saying good about that, and uh, not leaving the company, that is a loyalty. No, that's not the case. Loyalty is something, not saying something negative when that person is not around. So the company is not around when you're taking an interview with a second company. So in that case, by showing some positive trait about the company, but at the same time showing your curiosity, and wanted to challenging yourself, you are in this position, that is also a kind of loyalty. Hope I was able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. So these are some of the points for personality trait. Any extra point apart from this which is mentioned here? If anybody has anything to add here? I mean, these are some points which we know, but there might be many other points, right? Okay. So maybe we'll move to the next one, Hari. STAR technique. So what's the STAR technique? Have you ever used this technique, or this is the first time you're trying to hear, you are hearing it first time in this session?
This is first time hearing it. I'm hearing.
All right. No worries, no worries. So STAR technique is nothing. We always do it in a day-to-day scenario, right? Only thing is we don't know how to, put a acronym towards it. So STAR situation is like something. STAR situation is like something, you have a situation been given, how you are going to. So first, when a situation comes to you, so what we do, we try to understand what the situation is all about. Okay. Next is, what all things are needed to be done or expected, or what are the challenges I can face while doing this or interacting with this kind of situation. What is the action item which I need to take immediately to come out of the situation, and then what is the result I will going to expect. So don't you think you have experienced all the situations or similar kind of thing as a STAR technique in your day-to-day scenario? It's just that we have put a word or a definition towards that. In day-to-day scenario, there you might have encountered such kind of scenarios or situations, and you have, you know found your ways of, coming out of the situation, and maybe with the flying colors. So that is all about a STAR technique. So STAR technique is like a STAR, which is like situation, task, action, and result. So situation is like some situation has been given to you by your employer, or in your day-to-day scenario you came across into a situation. So you understand what is the context of the situation. All right. and then you try to describe what all tasks you need to complete, or to come out of the situations. And what is the so task can include your expectations, your challenges, or some to-do list. That can be your task. Out of all these tasks, what have you done to achieve that? So it is like, what is an action item? So there are many outcomes, but what is the actual action item for this particular task? and and the result is like, what have you accomplished at the end of this situation? What is, I mean, after you accomplish some activity, what is the impact, or what is the kind of reward we are getting? What is the effort you have put to get all these results? So that includes an entire star technique. Maybe an example would help. Trying to think of an example for you. Can you give me any scenarios so that we can put the star technique into that? All right, so maybe should we go for, yeah.
Panjali had sometimes the interviewers they ask, right, mention one of the projects that you have done that has made the most impact or something like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
And so I think that will require like a star technique to answer, right? Because then
Wonderful.
the follow-up questions will really depend on that.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
just to
can you
just
explain how to?
yeah, just to add, like for example, like sometimes we might be even ask like, what is the most complex situation that you have ever encountered, and how did you really dealt with that? Yep.
Exactly. So should we do a star technique for that particular question?
I think so.
All right. So can we have an interactive round? So your question is, so you have how you have dealt with an difficult project or a difficult situation or a complex kind of environment. So that is your situation, right?
Yeah.
So what all task? Let's put it very specific. So you have been given an article to write about. Okay, so that is the situation. So you have to write an article about artificial intelligence. So that is the situation.
Okay.
Okay. So now what all tasks you can include in that?
Uh, First would be a little research. I think
Hmm.
research about artificial intelligence and what are the upcoming trends on artificial intelligence.
All right.
And yeah, and maybe uh, what else?
Decide the
Where?
structure of your article.
All right. Great. Yeah. Please keep adding. And maybe where all, in which all companies they have utilized or implemented artificial intelligence, and how they have utilized that. Maybe that can be a kind of white paper kind of thing. So in short, so we are going to find out the A to Z of AI, and where all it has been implemented so far, how it started, and what is the current position of AI in this IT world, right? So that will be a T,
Yeah.
right? So next is coming the action. So what all we can put in action? You have to write an article. Okay, so don't forget that is the situation. So what will the A contain now?
You're coming up with a draft.
Yeah, it's a very niche initial rough kind of draft wherein you put in all the pointers which you have came across, which you have discovered by your research. So putting a very draft kind of format, uh, first draft which we say, a first draft of all the articles and all the research which you have done will fall into the A category, correct?
Mm.
Then R, so what can we put in the R category?
Will that include resources from where we've got this information and who will
So
be impacted?
right. Right. So R will be the final copy of your article. All right, that is the outcome, that is a result which we have done by a STAR technique. And then maybe you can share the links from which you have taken the reference. If anybody wants to, go back and do a deep dive on which all from which all sites you have found all this information, they can go back. And then maybe you can ask for them a feedback. Okay, at the end of the article you can ask for a feedback. So in that feedback, that will show some rewards, and and then how many people are reading that, so that we can see from when the article get published, we can see how many people have read those article, how many people have given us thumbs up, how many people have left a feedback for me. So that will be my accomplishment or reward or result at the end of a paper article which I have written on AI. So this is a kind of live implementation of a STAR technique. So don't you think you have implemented this in your day-to-day scenario?
Yeah, part of survival.
Yes, that's the art of survival, or you can say the life skills, which we always use. But is that in IT we have put a term towards it? That's called STAR. So we are always STAR, and we know how to deal with the situation and come with flying colors, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So pat on your back, because we have already done this. We are just revising this. So maybe we can move to the next one, Hari. The coding success. So we know this, right? Already we had some pre-interview kind of things, which is the before interview, during interview, what all are the do's and don'ts, and the post-interview etiquettes. So before interview, we have already seen that the pre-interview things which I have shown you. What is that we are going to do during the interview?
Should pay the attention.
All right. So is it okay to come late?
No, no.
Right. So during the interview, so we'll try to be punctual, try to be on time, disciplined. Okay. And then what all things?
I think maintaining consistency throughout.
Okay. Okay. What else do you can think of? So
And like
so currently,
sticking to resume, like
okay,
not get very deviated.
okay, yes, absolutely. We should not deviate. We
Mm.
should speak what is there in the which is there in our resume, and not beyond to that. All right. What else?
Be there with right energy and a smile while
Okay.
answering thoughtfully.
Okay. Be positive. Be energetic. Be confident. What else?
Should be eye contact while talking.
Yeah. A firm handshake and eye contact. Okay. Is it okay to argue with the interviewer, or we
I
should
think no.
de-escalate the situation?
Tough question, Rupanjali. Arguing with you.
That will make our life tough also. So we should never. So if such kind of situation happens wherein your answer has been, kind of escalated by the interviewer, so we should try to de-escalate, saying that maybe I don't know, sir. I might need to do some more analysis, but I think your point should need more analysis from my side. So maybe we should try to de-escalate if something is getting, uh, going into an argumentative mode. We should try to uh, put it back into zero, from starting from zero, rather than putting it on a high scale of escalation. So we
Rupanjali,
should
maybe
never.
like, yeah.
Yes, Hari, please.
Yeah, maybe I'm just playing the devil's role here. So in case, like for example, if I differ, like I have a difference of opinion with the interviewer on certain aspects, how do we deal with that?
So maybe we can politely say that ki I beg your pardon, but I have a different opinion out in here. But then different opinion comes from the different type of experiences we have encountered. So from your point of view, that might be correct. I also feel this is correct. But anyways, we can always have different point of view for a particular point. So maybe we can uh, put it here, and maybe we can move to the next point, or next topic, or next question. But arguing, or that does not helps nobody, it won't help anybody.
I have a question for like during the interview. Like now you had mentioned all the points, like what we can do, right? Like what is under our control. But sometimes, I mean, sometimes there are times when the interviewer doesn't reciprocate, or like, I mean, although we are trying to stay calm and be positive, but sometimes they just talk to the point. Like they ask question and we answer, and then the communication doesn't continue. Like it just stops and then it just goes on. So at times like that, how do we manage? Like, do you have any suggestions to how to keep ourselves positive
So you
even then?
so you mean to say the interviewer is not asking you any more questions? It's like an ice. It's
Yeah.
like a total silence.
I won't say silence, just moving on to next topic rather than having any kind of a follow-up question, or like just switching the topics basically. Like,
Okay, the interviewer is switching the topic. So once he's asking a
yeah,
question, you are answering. Then he's not doing a follow-up kind of question, but putting a next question.
yeah.
So two things which I felt from my own personal experience. The answer is wrong. Okay. So from my side, maybe it is not wrong, or might
Mm,
be that he's not in a good mood. He doesn't want to, or maybe he doesn't know the answer and he wants to move to the next question. So be it light, take it light. So whatever is asking, just try to answer and stick to that. So don't try to deep dive, or don't do a research kind of thing over there. After
okay.
coming from there, you can do your research, like whether my answer was right or wrong. But then
Mm,
asking the same question, and even though he has moved from that question, does not help.
mm, okay.
And maybe like he's just satisfied with respect to the answer that you have provided, and he just wanted to focus on the other aspects or the other phases of it.
Yeah, that can be a positive aspect.
Mm,
He's happy with the answer and he doesn't want to explore more on that side.
mm, okay.
Or any other things which you might have encountered.
Mm,
So I encountered a situation wherein I tried to answer a question and the interviewer was not very happy. He tried explaining me. He took a pen and paper. It was a coding thing. I tried to mention. I don't exactly remember, but I mentioned the steps. He was not very happy with the steps. He brought a pen and paper. He started writing the code and told me like, here is the problem what you're trying to say. So he tried. He deep dive into the code and only one question, and that was done with my interview. That
oh,
also happens. So they will try to explain you if they're not very happy. So it depends upon the interviewer also. So sometimes they said like, I'm not very satisfied with the answer, but let's move. But sometimes they try to explain why they're not satisfied with the answer. So there are
yeah.
situations,
I
depends.
mean, when they give feedback, I think it's nicer, even though if it's not, even if it's a negative feedback or something. But if, as long as it's a feedback, right?
Yes.
Sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes they just move on. So
Right. So somebody feels that feedback is my responsibility, which will help the other person, to understand and
mhm,
come more
yeah,
prepared for the next one. So someone
yeah,
they feel very much responsible, but there are times when they feel like it's not my responsibility. So you have given the answer
yeah.
that is wrong, and that's it. End of the story. So it's you have to figure it out, like where I went wrong and why I didn't move forward. So I have to
Mm,
do my deep life kind of thing, or self analysis kind of thing. But there are situations wherein the interview tells you the feedback in a very positive tone and tells us where we need to groom, or come more
mm,
prepared for the next.
yeah.
So any
Is it right in saying the end of the interview to ask the interviewer for the feedback? I mean, is it a nice thing to do or is it a no?
I don't see it's anywhere wrong asking a feedback for the interview. How did I do? Where do you feel I need to improve? Where do you feel we can always ask from ourselves, but then giving the feedback, or properly communicating in a positive tone is totally on the other person hand. But whatever things are in our hand, in a polite way we can always ask for them. So how did I do? Where do you feel I can work more to come better prepared for the next round? So I have asked this question. Yeah. Anything else on this? Say that. Say that. Okay. So maybe we'll move to the next slide, Harry. Okay, one more thing. So post-interview etiquette is also there. So do you feel it is important, post-interview etiquettes?
Very important.
Yeah, it's very important actually. So as I said, some things which are in our control, we should always use that in a very polite way. So after finishing the interview, we can ask for the feedback. That is one important thing. And after the interview is done and you're waiting for your result from a email point of view, and they might not reach out to you if it is a negative. Sometimes they reach out to you by dropping an email that we are sorry, but you're not through for that. And sometimes they don't let us know. In either way, in either case, you can always drop a note or a mail to them saying like, thank you for giving me this opportunity, and that and I understood where I need to fine tune myself and get more prepared for the next interviews to be attended. So thank you for all the support you have given me. So we should always write a thank you note to the interviewer. So sometimes we don't know the interviewer, right? It's the HR who always deals with us. It's always good to drop a note to the HR also. So that will keep a positive impression, and they will have something, you know, noted in their mind. So next time when there is something, they will always reach out to you. So it's very important to have a post interview kind of email dropped to the HR, or if you know the interviewer, you can always drop a mail to them. A thank you note is always good.
I would like to ask something here. So there was this situation wherein there was an interview, clear the technical rounds, all done, HR round also that. And then I get a call from the HR like, yeah, everything is done. I'm drafting your offer letter. And then I never get an offer letter. uh, what do you think at this point? Should I again contact them and ask them like the status of it, or um,
I think
what do I do?
you can drop a
Okay.
mail to the HR like owing to our previous conversation. This was the status. Do let me know whether it is still in progress or it's stopped, because sometimes it happens, right? Offer letter they are about to release, but then that position get freezed because of some of the other constraint in the company, because of which they were in a kind of situation wherein they have told the candidate that I'm sending an offer letter, but they're not able to send that. So you can always ask them. So is it like the position got freezed because of which you're not able to share an offer letter? It is always fine. Let me know when there is next an opportunity. Karke. You can always drop a mail to them and ask them for the status. But again, as I said, there are some things which is in our hand, and replying is always in their hand. But we can always ask for it. All right, maybe we'll move to the next one. It was a good discussion. 6 common interview mistakes to avoid. All right. So I think we have discussed that, and many pointers, something is mentioned here. But anything apart from that, I wanted to hear from you. So it seems like we all have been part of interviews, and it is not that we have not made any mistakes. Everybody has made some mistakes, some more sooner or later they have made some mistakes, right? So have you done any mistakes, and what are those? And what, I mean, how you thought of overcoming such kind of interview mistakes?
Yeah, when they asked me the question, actually, I know the answer, but at that time I was very tense, so I gave the wrong answer. I know the correct answer, but I gave the wrong answer. Then after interview, I realized, oh, I gave the wrong answer.
Okay. So that was because of getting tense, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
why you got tense? Is it because of the pressure? Like you
yes,
have to
yes,
get a
ma'am.
job. Okay,
Because
okay,
of pressure.
because of that pressure, right? So,
Yes.
do you feel like is there a way we can overcome that? See, we all need a job, right? End product is we all need a job. Okay, so that
Yes.
process of getting a job is called interview. We all know that, right? So how we can make that experience more pleasant, so that we we don't uh, we don't get anxiety, or you don't get that tensed. So do you have any, I mean, good practices or best practices which you can share?
Yeah, after long time, actually, I attended one interview, so that's why I may be tensed. Otherwise, I'm okay with that.
Yes, yes. So that was the point. So when we attend interview for the very first time after a long gap, or the first interview of our life, in those two situations, we get a tense. When
Yes,
we are
ma'am.
very used to getting in, attending interviews now and then, we don't feel that pressure. It is like a
Exactly.
back of our hand. I know what all are the answers. It is the fate of the company to take me or not take me, but I know that I'm confident and I know what all things I know and very good at. So yeah, that was a good thing you mentioned, like attending after a long break. Any
Yes,
other
ma'am.
point?
Yeah, to me, Rupanjali, it's like this. Maybe I take up like this actually. I will give my 100% and be confident, be calm, and it's up to the interviewer, like whatever he wants to go ahead and ask. I will just present my perspective with respect to whatever the queries or the questions he have. So as we were discussing in the previous scenario, definitely like there could be certain situations which are out of our control. As you rightly said, like there could be some kind of funding challenges, etc., due to which sometimes we may not get the offer letter. But ultimately, like we just need to focus on what is in our control and give our 100% with confidence rather than like thinking out of the box. What are the different things that might have happened in the background?
Right, right, Hari. So those are not in our control. So we should not waste our energy in thinking those things. We should always focus in what we are good at. Right. So any other common mistakes apart from what we have discussed or apart from what is mentioned here?
When the interviewer asks if you have any questions, and I think it's important to ask questions.
Yes, that shows your
Sometimes,
eagerness, that shows your curiosity or inquisitiveness towards their company or towards this job. And always ask a right question. Okay, don't ask me like, will I get a medical benefit or not? So always
yeah,
ask a right question when they are asking you to ask something about, if you have any questions, always use that space, use that point, and ask some good questions which can actually help you to build a good frequency, a rapport with the interviewer, or a good
yeah.
impression left behind. Right. Any other?
So one common question, like most of the interviewers they ask is like, what are your strengths? What are your weakness? How do we deal with them, Rupanjali?
So maybe we should put up our strength, sorry, our weakness in such a way that it is a kind of strength, which get visible or which get noticed as a strength to the opposite person. For example, um, sorry. For example, like if I say, what is my weakness, I would say my weakness is I want to complete. I mean, until and unless I finish my task, I feel restless. Okay, so that is my weakness. So that goes on, my mind satellite, it keep on searching until the task get completes. So that is my weakness, I would say. But to the other person, it feels like it is a strength, because until I finish my work, I won't go for a break. I won't take a holiday. I won't take anything until I finish my work. So if I'm giving a work to her, I'm rest for sure she'll complete and give it to me within that deadline. So try to present something, your weakness in such a way that it appears as a strength to the other person. So this is just my way of example. So there can be other ways of examples also. So which might look as a positive to the interviewer. Time management. I keep on working. I forget the timing stuff. Until the task get finished, right? So I will keep on doing that activity. So that means like, you are very much focused to your work, and you don't care about what is the time zone now. So that means the person will work day and night to complete my task. That will make the interviewer feel that way. So try to present your weakness in such a way that it appears as a strength to the other person. So you have to actually keep your doubts. So these are very common questions which get asked, right? So always prepare, write down your script. If the person is going to ask me, what is your weakness? So I should have this script ready for myself, which actually diverts into a strength to the other person. So always uh, be prepared for all this kind of ad hoc answers. And the most important question of an interview is, tell us about yourself. And that is the toughest question, I would say. It's not a very easy question. Oh, he's just asking about myself, I'll tell my name. No. From there only he will start asking you questions. A number of follow-up questions will start from, tell me about yourself. So you should always have a dialogue ready for tell me about yourself. We should include those pointers which will give a next set of questionnaires for you, and again you have an answer for that. So this is the most difficult question, I would say. This will either help you to pass to the interview or just, you know, just reverse back to the same point. Hope Hari I was able to answer you.
Yeah, Rupan.
Okay. Any other points we can add here? Cool. We can move to the next one. I'm not keeping a track of the time. Hari, you have to let me know.
Sure, Rupanjali.
Yeah. Let's move to the next slide. Work culture. Okay. So work culture is kind of an environment where you feel like you daily want to come to office. So that only happens when you give that, then only you can get the same thing from a workspace. So if you're not kind of, disciplined, you're not kind of honest, you're not kind of giving your 100%, you're not very much uh, collaborative, positive, you can't expect the same from others, right? So to get something you have to showcase the same thing. So it's like whatever you give you get the same thing, right? So the same thing also applies for a work culture. So you have to be the same. You have to be welcoming to get the same welcoming feeling from your team members. You have to be supportive if you want to get the same from your team members or from your office colleagues. You have to be collaborative, very much flexible, positive, give respect, have a kind of friendlier environment, and be empathetic, be positive, adaptability. So all these you have to showcase to get it from a work culture. It doesn't happen the other way. First you give me, then I'll get. No, that never happens. You have to showcase all these features or all these qualities when you enter into a workplace. Then only you will see automatically you will start getting all these things. Even though you're not expecting a uh, supportive kind of feeling from me, but you will definitely get it from me because you are showcasing that self. So these are some of the important qualities which a workplace expects everybody. Is a two-way communication from the office colleague as well as from yourself to have a very harmonious peace and workable environment, and you feel like going to the office on a daily basis. So this is very normal, this is very common, and we all know this. It's just that we have written it out so that it just get imprint in your mind. Any questions on this slide or any kind of deviation you feel? Any kind of different kind of point of view you want to share? All right, cool.
So
Maybe.
all of this is the positive aspect of being at a workplace, but it is also important to have like a boundary, right? So that somebody is not like overutilizing or basically taking advantage.
Absolutely. So that I think that point should be mentioned here somewhere. It should be like kind of assertiveness, okay?
Mhm, mhm.
Respectively or politely saying no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because I think
And
that's a major challenge. Like most people,
balance. See, it is mentioned here, balance.
yeah, okay.
So it should be there. So it should not be that every somebody comes and misuse your supportive or caring attitude. It should not be
Yeah.
that, right? So there should be a boundary. So
Mm,
you be assertive in what you communicate, at the same time respectfully to the other person. Like I might not be able to do it right away. So, I came across a new thing now. So initially it was said that a no is a no, right? So
Yes.
now I got the definition. A no is means right at this moment I'm not able to do that, but maybe in the future I can, collaborate with you, work together with you, or help you. So that's the new definition I came across, which I thought I'll share.
Yeah.
So earlier it was like no means no. So now it says no means at this point of time I'm not interested. So
Oh,
don't take it somewhere else, okay? Don't try to put it somewhere else. It is totally to the work culture.
that makes sense.
Yeah. That is a cautionary I just added. Okay, I think that was the last slide, and okay, so we have talked about many aspects, right? So you might be asking, where is communication here? We talk about everything, but where is communication? The most important part, which was there in the first slide, communication and life skill. So do you feel communication is still important?
Yes. Very important.
Yes.
Right. It's very important to make yourself heard, to make yourself explaining others, to make yourself understand, or the other person understanding what you're trying to say. That's why communication plays an important role.
Yep, definitely agree with you, Rupan.
Alright.
I just have one question, like how many of us within the current call, are pretty confident about their communication? Or do they feel like they have some kind of area of improvement which needs to be done? Yamini, CHP, Masuda, Priha, Renita, Smita, Sonia.
I'm not sure where exactly I would be wrong, but I'm sure there's something. Uh, maybe like when to. I feel like where I need improvement is uh, how much to say, how much to speak. Like,
Hmm.
it should not happen that we're over saying things or under
Hmm.
saying, right?
Yep.
So maybe drawing a line between that.
Hmm. Yeah, providing the right information at the right time in
Yeah.
order to move it to the next level is very crucial. And that's where like the communication part is going to play an pivotal role. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yamini,
Yes, Hari. What I'm thinking is what she said exactly. I'm thinking. So I should improve my skills also, like technical skills.
okay. So in case like for example, let's see like if uh, anyone like feels like they would like to enhance their communication skills. I happen to like work with a wonderful organization apart from this Women Who Code, which is known as Toastmasters International. So this Toastmasters International is the worldwide organization. Again, like it got a very good member base, and the model of their working is a little bit different. Maybe I can just provide you the link to the Toastmasters International. So it's a structured program where like you will enroll as a member, and then like there is a club which is a formal charter, and every week or every month they connect and practice these skills, actually the communication skills, especially the public speaking skills and as well as the leadership skills they focus. So if anyone is really interested, definitely like I can share further details on it. And for the benefit of the audience, I will go ahead and share the link of Toastmasters International in our group. You can just take a look and spend some time in understanding that platform.
Okay.
Yep. Anything else which you would like to discuss?
Nothing from
Any
my end.
question?
Thank you so much for the
I think
wonderful
we covered
sessions.
all the topics, I think so.
Okay. It.
Great. Nice.
I had a question. Like, I mean, does negotiation part come under this, or it's a different topic?
Yes, negotiation comes, but then negotiation comes not in the interview part. It would come, I think, after the interview. So negotiation skills will come in your day-to-day work culture. So how you negotiate, how you negotiate or deal with your team or your manager or your work culture, and then maybe how you negotiate with the HR. So all these things comes, but not in the interview round. The negotiation skills come.
Okay.
Great. We had a good session. At least we had some new pointers, new kind of questions asked in this session, which is always a good refresher one. We also, so we can never say that we are very good in communication. So it's a everyday learning process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh,
it's learning process. Well, exactly.
it's
Yeah.
an ongoing process. So I learn many things on it. I try to see what I learned today on a day-to-day basis. So today I learned about some questionnaires which you asked me, which was a little different, but then that opened a different kind of interaction mode between us. We communicated and we shared our thoughts on that particular new topic or new point of view which you have shared. So that is an important aspect, and I feel it's an ongoing journey for you, for me, for everybody. And yeah, thank you so much, Ranita. It was also a good session for me. As I said,
Thank
we
you.
all are in the same cycle, only that uh, only that you might be feeling something different, but then we are on the same we are along with you in your journey. So apart from this, if you need any kind of support, so we are there, just a WhatsApp or a call away, so you know that.
Rupanjali, there's some last question actually.
Yeah.
This still is some interviewer will ask, why should I select you? Some kind of questions will encounter it. So how can we answer that?
A very good question, and I got rejected because of this answer. So what happened is, so you know why what the interview expects from you. When you are a fresher, this kind of question they might not ask you, and if at all they ask you, right, you always have an answer, right? Because you might be doing some other things which is an edge over other fresher. But when you are getting experience, right, this question holds a lot of weightage. They wanted to understand like the work which you do, for example Excel. Okay, I'm telling a very basic example. Excel work a fresher can do. So why I need to hire a 10 plus year experienced person with a little bit of higher end of salary and also a good position owing to your experience? So why should I hire you? Okay, so there we should say that it might not fit for everybody. So there, what I should have told, which I didn't in my one of my interview, was that I have the technical as well as the process experience. So technical experience, anybody can have it. You know, if I learn Informatica, if I learn Python, I can be a master in a month. I can learn the technology in 2 weeks. Okay, depending upon how quickly I'm a learner. But then how I can use a process, how I can use a process to start a project, to start up to from a very budding stage to the final stage, that only an experienced person can get through. Because I know how to stitch the data, I know how to build up the how to design the system, and how I know how to implement that owing to your process. So that gives the edge over me as compared to any other candidate which you feel is there in the market with this technology. I was not able to answer this question, or I was not able to justify myself in that question he asked me, and I badly failed in that. But then, as I said, it's a learning process. I learned, and I learned this answer, and I wanted you to understand this answer, and put frame it around in such a way that you have the technical process and implementation expertise, and always have an edge over to anybody fresher or anybody who is just 3 4 years of experience. So that was the answer I should have given, which I didn't give. So
Okay.
Hari, any other point of view?
No, Rupanjali, I think you covered it well.
Yeah, so I failed answering that question, or else I would have been in a different company. But I'm not dissatisfied. I'm very happy here also.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rupanjali ma'am. You covered all the topics. So a lot of things I learned also. Thank you.
Thank you so much for asking this question. I also forgot this one was there. But yeah, you freshened up my that day interviews day. So
Yes,
I was
yes.
there from morning till 10 to 5. They gave me breakfast and lunch also. They treated me very well, but this last question actually wasted all my day's effort. Anyways,
Okay.
good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you, Rupanjali. Yeah, thank you, Hari.
Thank you, Hari
Thank-
and Rupan.
Yeah, thank you all for joining us today. And tomorrow we have the tech interview preparation session at same time. Please join us tomorrow along with our mentors for the upcoming tech interview preparation session scheduled for tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you, Rupanjali. Thank you all for joining us today. Have a nice
Yeah,
day.
Thank you
bye.
all and have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.